really don't discuss the dangers. We both know and are aware of the dangers.
We love these planes.
Think of it as a flying radio and television station.
We're up broadcasting.
Commando Solo is the quickest, fastest way to talk to the Afghan people. It's humanitarian, but at the same token, it is psychological operations.
Bin Laden is one of the first Muslim figures who is media savvy.
People are getting the message, and they're reading our leaflets. They're listening to our radio broadcasts.
And we wear night vision goggles so that we can see anything on the ground that may look dangerous.
Oh gosh, wonder what's going on over there.
It is a tricky operation. This is a 500-pound lead wrecking ball out here.
When SIAP makes its point, that's when we win the minds and the hearts of the people.
It's one of the oldest airplanes in the United States arsenal. An ugly duckling of a 4-engine giant transport. It is called Commando Solo. It's a C-130 Hercules, a lumbering giant, and it has been in service since the Vietnam War. Not the sort of weapon you might think belongs in the high-tech war in such places as Afghanistan. But its job makes it special. Up until now, that job has been secret. This flight heading for Afghanistan is the first time television cameras have been allowed on board. Virtually everything about it is secret. Its altitude, its forward base, and its flight path are all classified. In fact, the crew even prefers not to be fully identified, using only their first names.
Even though we don't drop bombs, we do transmit messages to the people on the ground that politically the enemy doesn't want them to hear.
This is basically a flying broadcast station, beaming friendly messages to the Afghan people and warnings to Osama bin Laden and the Taliban. It's a small but critical part of another kind of battle in Afghanistan, something called psychological warfare. They are all alone up there, flying over a combat zone in an aircraft protected only by hot flares to decoy missiles, and shaft dispensers that can spray 1 million strips of aluminum foil to prevent radar lock. The men on board carry small sidearms and another form of protection.
My nephew, he gave me this silver dollar because I was the first enlisted guy to salute him. And ever since I got it, I've just carried it in my pocket. And that's pretty much about the only thing I would say I carry as a good luck.
I don't have any superstitious things like that, but my aircraft commander does insist that he has to put his right boot on first before he goes to fly, or something will happen.
Okay, are they working?
There's definite threat to you. There's people don't like you, that want to shoot at you. If you're not afraid, you're going to put yourself in a position where it's easier for you to get hurt.
So you're hoping that your airplane is flying high enough and fast enough that they're not willing to take a pot shot at you, but yeah, I was nervous.
Day after day, they take to the unfriendly skies above Afghanistan to transmit information that is meant to influence the course of the war and hasten its end.
I'll head to the bottom of the block. Both hit our disconnect.
Rick, the aircraft commander, has a special reason for being here. A civilian pilot for American Airlines, he lost colleagues in the tragedy on September 11th. John, a major, is the mission chief, in charge of the broadcast.
We all have a certain job, and information superiority and information operations are very important in the strategic sense.
The loadmaster, who is responsible for spotting enemy fire from the ground, is Will, a master sergeant.
Scanning the ground for threats.
Vaughn, also a master sergeant, is the flight engineer and probably the oldest person aboard.
While we're flying, it's my job to monitor the aircraft instruments so that if anything starts going wrong, I can attempt to fix it.
The youngest of the 9-man crew is Matt, the co-pilot.
that coupling drops out.
The broadcast equipment on board is kept in perfect running order by teams of electronic engineers. And back on the ground, the all-important maintenance crews stand by.
This one has an extra hole in the
At first sight, these men look like regular airmen, but they are not. They are all members of the 193rd Air National Guard of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. They are civilian soldiers, people with ordinary jobs, who were called up to fight in the war against terrorism.
All right, attention, roll call. Pilot to your co-pilot.
Here. This is mom and dad or brother and sister who have worked downtown or in the grocery store or wherever the last few years, and now they're being called up by the military to lend a helping hand.
All these men were ripped out of their civilian roles on October 7, 2001, when President Bush declared war on terrorism.
On my orders, the United States military has begun strikes against Al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan. The name of today's military operation is Enduring Freedom.
I thought, oh boy, Matt's gonna be going. It ran through my mind. This is war. He leaves, yeah, he could potentially never come back.
Operation Enduring Freedom is Matt's first deployment.
It'll be fun. Be a new experience.
Yeah, we've had a lot of those lately.
We ask a lot of those who wear our uniform. We ask them to leave their loved ones, to travel great distances, to risk injury, even to be prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice of their lives.
We really don't discuss the dangers. We both know and are aware of the dangers. And the kids are old enough now that they understand the dangers also.
With all the events in September 11th and everything, everybody was a little bit more apprehensive than usual because it just, nobody really knew what to expect.
These psychological warfare messengers were one of the first units deployed to a forward secret base in the Middle East. The men of Commando Solo found themselves on the front line of information warfare.
Commando Solo is the most immediate way to get a voice out. If you want a voice automatically overnight, you can't go through the Afghan press. Again, it's such a poor country, there aren't the outlets. So really it was the quickest, fastest way to talk to the Afghan people.
But the men of Commando Solo are not the ones who create the messages to the Afghan people. They just deliver them. It is the specialists at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, who are in charge of producing the messages.
We've received orders for production of leaflets. When we started printing leaflets, we started off printing 24-hour ops.
These soldiers conceive, design, and print the information destined for Afghanistan. They all serve in the Psychological Operation Group of the United States Army.
You study your enemy, you learn everything there is about them. You learn their likes, their dislikes, their fears, their hopes, and then use that information to motivate their behavior, to change their opinions.
The leaflets they have created are packed in leaflet bombs to be detonated by altitude triggers.
Psychological operations has a capability to use all the mediums. We can do everything from radio to print media to television.
And the Psychological Operations Group trains the loudspeaker teams, which will parachute with Army Rangers behind enemy lines. Once on the ground, they use portable equipment to deliver short messages in Dari, Pashto, and Arabic.
People are getting the message, they're listening to our radio broadcasts, and they're reading our leaflets. The leaflets are going to tell in advance why we're there or why we're coming and what our mission is. And then our loudspeaker messages are going to reinforce that when we get there. For about the last 2 years, we've been doing nothing but training missions. When we're on the ground, we're with the Rangers, they're moving, we have a very good effect on the enemy because they know we're there, we're on their doorstep, and in Afghanistan, they're going to listen to what we have to say.
It's probably hard to pick a place in the world where it's harder to change minds right now in terms of the Middle East or the Muslim world. It's just an extraordinary amount of ill will and distrust that's been built up.
But changing hearts and minds is what they do in psychological operations.
Really, we sell the American message. The ultimate goal is to influence target audience behavior to achieve U.S. goals.
We do it through the use of media, very similar in many aspects to marketing and advertising. We use visual media to get our message to our intended audience.
But it isn't as easy as all that. America is not alone in knowing the value of the media to influence perceptions. On October 7, 2001, the very day U.S. and British long-range bombers and cruise missiles headed for Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, Osama bin Laden, the master terrorist, fired off a videotaped salvo of his own via Arab television.
It's clear that he's using his own psychological warfare. He's pushing that this is a jihad, a holy war.
He was trying to rally the entire Muslim world to see the United States as the great Satan. Bin Laden is one of the first Muslim figures to comprehend that modern warfare and modern political struggle takes place in the media dimension just as well as in the military dimension.
The war on terrorism that had just begun had also become a propaganda war.
On an all-new Monster Garage.
Clean Visits, introducing the newest Crest Spin Brush, Spin Brush Pro. It spins and goes up and down for that dentist clean feeling. Satisfaction guaranteed. The Crest Spin Brush Pro.
You saw your organization's color needs increasing. You knew that adding more single-function color laser printers wasn't going to cut the mustard. You knew it was time to turn to Canon for its color solutions. Now, my friend, it's time to reap the rewards.
Discover the ultimate in twisted transformations. Monster Garage. Monday at 8 Eastern and Pacific, only on the Discovery Channel.
You've got mail. What do you call someone who pays double for internet access? An AOL user. NetZero gives you the entire internet for only $9.95 a month. Get it at netzero.com.
Did they do that on purpose?
It's a vehicle designed for your adventures in reality. The 5-star safety-rated CR-V from Honda.
How far can you go? How long can you last? How much can you endure? 7 stranded teams, 1 remote island. Eating, sleeping, and competing in the ultimate real-life adventure where the longer you last, the closer you get to the ultimate grand prize. Yes. Who's got the game to go all the way? Endurance on Discovery Kids and Saturday mornings on NBC.
Well, if I had money, I tell you what I'd do. I'd go downtown and buy me a Mercury or 2. See, I'm crazy about a Mercury. I'm gonna cruise it up and down the road.
Get over $6,700 in finance savings with 0% financing for 5 full years during the Dare to Compare Mercury Mountaineer sales event.
At Scottrade, we're all about value. The value of over 165 branch offices and each Scottrade customer being able to call their personal broker instead of a call center. The value of free streaming quotes and charts with integrated trading, or the value of trading online for just $7. In activity fees, Scottrade doesn't have any. No pressure to trade. Call 1-800-SCOTTRADE or visit us at scottrade.com, because at Scottrade, we're all about value.
Inside the mind and body of the ultimate hunters. The attack.
the escape, and be there in the spark of a new life. Unravel the mystery of reproduction from the inside out. Our planet's most fascinating creatures, and the anatomy that allows them to outrun, outfight, outwit, and outlast. Inside Animals, tomorrow at 8. Only on the Discovery Channel.
Following in the wake of U.S. fighter planes flying its own electronic combat duty over Afghanistan is the lumbering C-130.
Today we're going to be broadcasting AM commercial radio and shortwave radio.
Engineer's post-air fueling checklist complete.
But first, the antennas have to be released.
Cleared to drop the BT-50.
Okay, as soon as they're ready, I will.
This is where we operate two different wires that we extend from the aircraft.
2 minutes to be dry.
You are cleared. The AM broadcast wire extends from the bottom of the airplane.
To keep it vertical, a 500-pound weight, shaped like a Hershey's Kiss, is attached to the end of it.
And the HF, or shortwave broadcast wire, extends out of the tail of the airplane back in a horizontal manner.
MC, the HTWA is out 22.5 feet.
Go ahead, pilot.
You all set for your broadcast?
Yes, we are.
And if you could, MC, just give me a countdown.
We have the capability to get the message to them quickly. For instance, one of the things we did at the very beginning of the war is we destroyed their radio stations. And then we immediately filled that gap with Commando Solo.
15 seconds. 5, 2, 1, hack start. Now.
We're up broadcasting.
Twice daily, Commando Solo broadcasts programs which are part Voice of America, part threats to Osama bin Laden, and part information and music designed to win over the general Afghani population.
The big thing in Afghanistan was to broadcast to the people of Afghanistan that we were not at war with them, that we were strictly there to find the Taliban and Al-Qaeda members and get them. We have no hard feelings with the Afghan people as a whole.
It's a really unique situation in that you're at war, but with a select number of people within a country, within a region, and the other people who live there want to know why is this happening and what's the rationale behind it. That's where the propaganda comes in.
In the propaganda war, America has its work cut out for it. The U.S. government has to rally the home front, which remains fearful of another attack from Osama bin Laden. Its leaders have to appeal for support in the Muslim world, and they have to win the support of the Afghan people while routing their Taliban leaders. To top it off, there are logistical problems.
When you're dealing with the target audience, you have to look at what capability they have. In Afghanistan, the Taliban had sort of a home field advantage. They controlled the press. They controlled the radio, the television, they even controlled the education, what was taught and to who.
The Taliban regime not only outlawed music and television, it physically destroyed any chance of disobeying the law. And in a country so desperately poor that much of the population is starving, some people don't even have radios. To alleviate hunger, food rations are dropped from the air along with another gift from Uncle Sam.
In the humanitarian food packets, we also dropped radios that could be cranked as well as use batteries. Radios that we dropped were limited to only pick up our frequency.
Showers of leaflets are also dropped from the air to let people know the time and frequencies of transmissions. American bombs have been falling on Afghanistan for almost 2 weeks when on the night of October 19th, 2001, the ground war starts. More than 100 United States Special Operations troops parachute into Kandahar. Among them, a 4-man loudspeaker team from that 4th Psychological Operations Group in Fort Bragg.
The purpose of our jump was to seize a small airfield and compound in southern Afghanistan and provide the Ranger Commander on the ground with tactical psychological operation support.
They are jumping into a situation where anything could happen.
Just before I jumped out, there's a little bit of apprehension. A lot of things are going through your mind. Various courses of action you're going to take upon contact with the enemy.
But it turns out to be easier than expected.
The only surprise was the quick contact we had when we were moving out of our assembly area up to assault the objective. The enemy was quickly dispatched.
Then their loudspeakers begin to broadcast warnings in 2 Afghan languages and in Arabic.
Attention, attention, attention. U.S. forces have arrived. For your own safety, exit all buildings, move away from the landing strip, drop all your weapons, lay flat on the ground.
To unnerve the Taliban, they leave behind their calling card, an image of firefighters raising the American flag at the World Trade Center, and the message, freedom endures.
I believe the enemy, the Taliban, understood what our message was, which was that America will not be put down and that freedom will endure across the 4 corners of the globe.
Somewhere far above it all, Commando Solo continues its broadcast mission.
Mainly we were worried about surface-to-air missiles, shoulder-fired Stinger missiles, stuff like that. I believe a lot of it was from the United States when they were fighting the Soviets. You know, so we actually supplied most of their weaponry.
Commando Solo keeps sending out friendly messages to the Afghan people, but broadcasts back home bring unsettling news.
2 U.S. military personnel were killed in a Black Hawk helicopter accident.
You see all that going on, and he was supposed to call, and it was like 3 hours later, and he still hadn't called. And I thought, oh gosh, I wonder what's going on over there. I do worry a lot. You start to think about all kinds of things if you let your imagination go.
I do think about what could happen to the plane. I do not watch the news. That just makes it worse for me, you know, because there's just too much speculating, and I don't really need to know. I'm better off not knowing.
I think every mission is definitely a dangerous mission because, as far as I know, not too many people are flying training missions over here.
There is danger both from the ground and from mid-air collisions, but the most persistent danger could be the age of the plane.
The aircraft is old. It's almost as old as I am. Even though we both work very well yet, we do both have times when we don't work as well as we should.
There are 6 of these old C-130s retrofitted for information warfare, all known as Commando Solo. The Lockheed manufactured 4-engine prop jets date all the way back to 1963. Old enough, one imagines, to be a maintenance nightmare.
Well, some things I guess you just can't foresee, but I don't think I ever woke up in a cold sweat. No, we're pretty confident of the job that we do.
All Commando Solos have their permanent home on the tarmac in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. While 2 of them are serviced between sorties at the forward base, the others get tender, loving care in the hangar at home.
It means maintenance every day, practically. It's a lot of maintenance. It's a lot of maintenance to keep them flying the way we do.
And the job sometimes requires them to make their own parts to replace those no longer available.
Our maintenance troops have to work their tails off to keep us flying, you know, and they're the best maintenance guys in the world. But it takes a lot more work and a lot more parts, you know, than the brand new 130 coming off the line.
So the crew Commando Solo keeps flying and returning safely to their temporary desert base, hoping that the broadcasts have caught the attention of the Afghan people.
No one really communicates as well or as often as the United States, and so they have all the tools to be able to do it. The question is, are they doing it successfully?
No one has been persuaded to turn over bin Laden yet. It is a hard sell.
There are many Afghans, certainly amongst the Pushtun tribes of the south, who are very pro-Bin Laden because he is seen as the only Muslim who is fighting back against what is seen as American bullying, American arrogance, or American domination.
That perception of America is hard to defeat, and it will take many more transmissions to even make a dent in it.
You're watching the Discovery Channel.
Stay tuned as Commando Solo Afghan Skies continues. And coming up next, whatever happened to the killer bees?
Mr. Stevens?
Yeah.
Got you down for over 130 channels, $39.99 a month.
Right, so...
every channel's digital quality. There's access to 31 premium movie channels, 60 pay-per-view movie titles a month.
Great, so that can go on the back of the roof?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, good. So go ahead and pull around back.
You work for the cable company, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why settle for cable? Get a 2-room DirecTV system with installation for under $50.
There's another kind of bounty. Bounty double quilted.
It does jobs I never thought a paper towel could do. The quicker picker-upper is double quilted.
Each sheet is quilted once, then quilted again, making it the strongest 2-ply paper towel.
It even works underwater.
And there are twice as many sheets on a roll. More sheets that can do more jobs than you ever thought possible. Bounty double quilted. You're watching the Discovery Channel.
Tune in this Sunday night to travel back to a time when dinosaurs roamed America.
Toyota Sienna and E.T. the Extraterrestrial, bringing families together.
This holiday season, Walt Disney Pictures invites you to experience the adventure.
Brace yourself.
And share the feeling.
I don't want to lose you.
It won't. This is my chance to set things right.
Of Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island, as you've never seen it before.
Got the makings of greatness in you.
Disney's Treasure Planet, rated PG, in theaters November 27th.
What are you looking at, weirdo? Yeah, weirdo.
Australia. Jumping with adventure. Packed with value. 12 nights in Sydney, Kangaroo Island, and the Great Barrier Reef, all for $17.99 from Los Angeles. Qantas brings you more wonders down under. Call 800-89-KOALA. We can't wait to say good day.
Another day, another mission for the $70 million aircraft whose job is to persuade Afghanis to support America's war against terrorism. First, some low-tech procedures. With old-fashioned manpower and a long pole, the propellers of the Elephantine plane are pushed out of the vertical position so the engine intake covers can be removed. And now, the 1-hour flight to Afghanistan can get started. While Commando Solo is drumming up support for the coalition against Osama bin Laden, Fort Bragg turns out leaflets that depict bin Laden as an evil outsider who has taken over Afghanistan. But bin Laden, in spite of being on the run, has been working on his own agenda. On November 3rd, 2001, he again appears on Arab television. Blasting the United Nations as a tool of crime, he tells his fellow Muslims that we are being slaughtered every day.
I think the speeches hit a chord because he stood up to the West and he didn't care what we thought. And again, he wasn't interested in the American perspective, but he certainly sort of cemented his image here as public enemy #1.
Bin Laden needs technology no more sophisticated than a home video camera to incite his own supporters and keep Americans jittery. The fact that he is able to get his message out at all is galling to the United States.
There is an element of taunting. And a lot of people in the Muslim world delight in seeing the almighty United States being needled by this very irritating man who keeps escaping.
The man responsible for the worst terrorist attack on American soil ever moved to the top of America's most wanted list on September 11th.
There's an old poster out west, as I recall, that said, "Wanted, dead or alive."
A flyer created at Fort Bragg to enlist Afghani help in the manhunt promises $25 million for his capture.
I think Americans would think a $25 million bounty, you could find anybody. It's got to be embarrassing. I mean, he was wanted dead or alive, and he's, you know, now there are reports he may be safely in Pakistan.
The Bin Laden trail has gone cold. But America keeps trying to win Afghani hearts and minds with leaflets that depict America as a friend of Islam and Afghanistan. But it is not an easy task to reach a population 60% illiterate.
What we strive toward is a message that is concise and brief. I think of it easily compared to the Got Milk campaign.
It takes a team of analysts with intimate knowledge of Afghan culture, language, and religion to construct a very simple message that will resonate with local lifestyles and religion. Information on many of the flyers is humanitarian in nature, friendly greetings, hopes of peace, and the like. These messages meant to convey America's friendship are echoed in the broadcasts from above. The humanitarian aspect has always been a part of Commando Solo's missions, both in war and peace. In Haiti in 1994, psychological operations were a lifesaver. A year after the elected president, Aristide, was toppled, Haiti was falling apart. Political murders were common, and poverty endemic. People were leaving the island by the thousands, heading for Florida in leaky boats. To restore Aristide to the presidency and stem the tide of refugees, the U.S. sent in troops and PSYOP loudspeaker teams, while Commando Solo flew broadcast missions off the coast.
We could tell them to stay on the island and not go into the water and die in the water needlessly. If you're only looking at how many people were leaving Haiti at the time, and we started transmitting, the day after we started transmitting, the number of people leaving the island dropped off to almost zero.
But the situation in Afghanistan is more complicated and more dangerous. The hunt for bin Laden has yielded no result. Although he has slipped through the net, November 2001 brings some good news. Firepower has driven his Taliban host from Mazar-e-Sharif, their main base in the north. A short month later, they are driven out of Kandahar. The defeat of the Taliban creates fertile ground for psychological operations.
The basic fact that we got the Taliban out of power and out of control, coupled with the radio broadcasts and the leaflets, a lot of the image that we previously had in that area, the negative image, is gone away.
Still, Commando Solo keeps broadcasting every day. The crew does not understand a word of the programs they are beaming down, so once they are underway, the men kick back, relax a bit,
What's up, man?
and think of home.
When I'm away, I miss my wife and my dogs, my whole family.
My wife was my high school sweetheart, and she knew that this is what I always wanted to do. But it's still tough being away and not being at home for certain functions, birthdays, and holidays all the time.
It was real difficult in the beginning because of the secrecy of everything that was going on.
The first rotation, when they weren't allowed to call, we weren't allowed any contact, I wrote just about every night. I would sit and tell them about my day and what the kids did. So it still kind of felt like he was still here and I was sharing with him, but it was just on paper.
And I have set defensive systems, but
single sortie can last up to 16 hours. And with an airplane that burns 6,000 pounds of fuel per hour, refueling in the air is a necessary but somewhat hazardous maneuver.
3/4 of a mile. Once we have them visually in sight, then we can go after them.
Loadmaster. Autopilot.
Off.
As in a mating dance, Commando Solo approaches the tanker plane.
2902.
But before any fuel is taken on board, everything that can produce a spark has to be turned off.
And then when they turn over top of you, you have other people like the loadmaster in the back, and the nav is up looking for them.
Nav is chief. Go ahead.
Giving the pilot some direction as to which shoulder they're over.
Let me know when you're ready to rotate.
They guide you in to the proper position.
Yeah, we'll get the hook up and then we'll have to rotate.
The Air Force uses a boom system. They call them the boomer.
And boomer engineer will need 20,000 a day.
He flies the boom down into the hole on top of the C-130 and is able to make the connection.
It's my job to make sure, first of all, to tell the pilot that we're connected.
We got 24,000 on board. You want the full 20 then? That'll put us up to 44.
And I can also talk to the boom operator through the mic and tell him how much fuel we need.
Taking fuel. You're up to 28.
We can take on 15, 20, 25,000 pounds of fuel.
Our guys are so good that it only takes but a few minutes for us to get enough gas to continue the mission.
And many, many more.
They have us flying quite a bit. It is a little mentally draining, but it's nothing we haven't been trained to deal with.
By the middle of December, the coalition forces seem to be in control, but Osama bin Laden is still at large. Out of sight, but not out of mind.
On an all-new episode of Monster Garage, Jesse James is back in the driver's seat. Sit down! As he and his crew attempt to turn this school bus into a pontoon party boat. We got me some power. But it's no love boat.
You know, I spent all week making this thing. You guys want to destroy it in a couple hours?
Man overboard. On an all-new Monster Garage. Monday at 8 Eastern and Pacific, only on the Discovery Channel.
Who are these guys? They're a team. Experienced professionals who work in sync. This team approach is how Oppenheimer Funds delivers solid long-term performance under all conditions. Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest.
You're watching the Discovery Channel.
Stay tuned as Commando Solo continues with Afghan Skies.
We go to spas to restore our minds and bodies. But how can we restore our smiles? With Crest White Strips. These thin, flexible strips contain a peroxide gel that works in ways whitening toothpastes can't. Reaching down to stains in your teeth, not just on them. In 2 weeks, you can take 10 years off your smile.
Wow, you look great.
You have the best smile. Crest White Strips. Reveal your wider smile. Guaranteed.
Introducing the world's first truck with four-wheel steering. The new GMC Sierra Denali with 325 horsepower and quadra-steer. Beats everybody, forwards and backwards.
How good is your game plan? No matter what the conditions, Oppenheimer Funds has always believed in sticking to the fundamentals, a strategy that's proven itself time and time again. Oppenheimer Funds. funds, the right way to invest.
Beyond science, beyond medicine.
There's absolutely no medical reason for this young man to survive.
Real tragedy, never-ending hope, and remarkable recovery. Watch a new Discovery Health Channel series, Only a Miracle.
There's a strong life force in all of us. I think if we nurture that, we can see a really remarkable outcome.
Watch Only a Miracle every Wednesday night at 9 on Discovery Health Channel. Real life, medicine, miracles.
This Serta mattress is so comfortable, you'll never have to count sheep again. What's up? Let's get out of here.
Great going, 13. You've only got 20 more stores to go.
You'll feel the difference the moment you lie down. Serta, we make the world's best mattress.
For a great deal on your Serta mattress, get to Shimox Furniture in Coltmont during their 87th anniversary sale.
For some, the road is a Sunday drive. For others, it is a place to be driven. Today, there is a tire that embraces the attitude of both. The Firestone Affinity LH30. High performance and the wet-breaking benefits of Unity technology at an exceptional price. For a better Sunday drive.
No matter what your Sunday drive is.
The Affinity LH30. This is the beginning of a new century for Firestone.
Deals Tire and Auto Service. Quality service for over 45 years.
Millions of years ago, your neighborhood was a very different place. When dinosaurs roamed America, Sunday at 8 Eastern and Pacific on the Discovery Channel.
Your paper, also the futures, and the exclusive story of Osama bin Laden on tape, flagrantly admitted.
The information war takes a strange turn on December 13th, 2001, when the American government releases a bin Laden tape reportedly found in an abandoned house. Osama bin Laden and his associates are seen gloating over the attack on the World Trade Center.
We saw a tape that was described as the smoking gun, proving that bin Laden was in fact behind 9/11. The American government said that there's bin Laden on tape saying that he did it and laughing about it.
In the Muslim world, there are charges that the tape has been doctored.
The entire American public believed this tape. The view in the Mideast is that the tape was a fake.
Real or fake, it serves America's purpose in the propaganda war, especially on the home front. For the Bush administration, the tape helps renew support for the lengthening war against terrorism and bin Laden.
They said this is final confirmation that this man is a monster and he's evil, and not only that, but he's laughing about all the Americans that he killed. So really, anybody who believed bin Laden was guilty believed it more after seeing the tape.
Nobody knows if he is dead or alive or what he might be up to next. There are fears that he has nuclear weapons. So the danger is far from over, and Commando Solo is still on the job, flying late into the night.
I'll kill all the lights back here.
Blacked out.
We don't want to be seen. Of course, we turn all our lights out, inside and out, and cover the windows in the back so that there is no light shining out from the aircraft. And we wear night vision goggles so that we can see other aircraft around us and anything on the ground that may look dangerous.
Will suddenly spotted danger.
It was just a quick burst in my eye, and it went away. But then, like 2 or 3 minutes later, it started up again, and it didn't stop for probably 3 or 4 minutes. The whole crew was pretty worked up about it. I immediately called the pilot.
What's that?
And of course, as I'm telling him, my voice is getting more excited because someone's actually shooting at us.
Commando Solo immediately performed evasive maneuvers, climbing out of harm's way.
It was pretty hairy for a minute or so there.
Night vision goggles work wonders, except
when the batteries start to run down low in them, the field that you're looking at the terrain starts to have like little pixels of scattered light in it. It kind of looks like sparkles. Our loadmaster was scanning out the back of the aircraft, looking at the ground, and hadn't noticed that his batteries were running down and thought it was a lot of gunfire underneath the aircraft.
It was actually just the night vision goggle flashing in my eye. I got a new nickname now. They call me Flash, and when somebody makes a little faux pas like that when you're flying, it generally sticks with you for a long time.
The campaign goes on, but for the Afghan population, there has been remarkable change. With the Taliban out of power and bin Laden and his al-Qaeda group driven from their mountain caves, the battle for hearts and minds seems to have inched toward the American side. On December 20th, 2001, crowds of Afghanis appear in the streets of the capital. Many women have shed their burqas, and people cheer. Hamid Karzai has come to Kabul. He is president of the interim government and the symbol of a more democratic future. Commando Solo now broadcasts a program to back up the new government.
We're here to support the Karzai interim government and get the people accepting the idea of moving in the direction of a democracy.
The segment on politics is followed by popular Afghan music, lots of it. At least 40% of the transmissions over Afghanistan consist of music. And Psy warriors know the power of music. It has served them well before, but last time it was used as a weapon. In 1989, America sent the 82nd Airborne and PSYOP troops into Panama to capture the dictator Noriega and set up a democratic government. Noriega quickly took refuge in the Vatican Embassy. Unwilling to blast their way into a sovereign embassy, the Americans decided on blasting him out. They flooded the embassy with lights, then they drowned it with hard rock around the clock.
They're essentially psychological operations directed against Noriega personally. I was not involved in the analysis, but I had to experience it just like he did.
And the steady pounding of ear-splitting rock was not a pleasant experience. Noriega eventually surrendered without a fight and was helicoptered out of Panama.
Yeah, it could have been too much Twisted Sister, I don't know.
In Afghanistan, on the other hand, music helps to cheer up a people who had been oppressed and deprived by their own rulers.
They said that they hadn't been able to listen to music for years under the Taliban regime, so we were providing music for them, sort of like the top 40 for the Afghani population. I think they enjoyed it.
Some of the beats are actually quite catchy. Some of the crew members have kind of gotten with it a little bit.
I really enjoyed the music. I was one of the few people they said would dance when the music came on.
Under the Karzai government, Afghanis can openly enjoy music of their own making or the beats from Commando Solo flying high above.
I'm glad we're bringing a little life to the party for these poor people on the ground in Afghanistan.
The day's mission has been accomplished, but before the plane returns to base, the horizontal antenna must be retrieved, a tricky maneuver.
Today it's at about 22 feet. We simply hit a retrieve button and it pulls it straight into the airplane. It's a lot less complicated to bring in the vertical trailing wire. There's not a whole lot of danger with it like there is with the VTWA.
It's like a large pendulum underneath the aircraft.
And it's got a 500-pound drogue lead weight on it. It has a tendency to get that weight swinging back and forth.
And certain oscillations are set up in the aircraft by using the autopilot, so it's a requirement that we turn that off and hand fly to kind of dampen out those oscillations.
If it was thrown up against the engines, that could be a very dangerous situation.
It does start to swing a bit ominously.
But once it gets within so many feet of the airplane, we really keep an eye on it. It's not something that you want to get wrapped around the airplane.
If we feel that it's going to be too dangerous, we can cut it in an instant and get rid of it, and it just falls away from us. And that's for our safety.
But it is not necessary this time.
We let the swing dampen out some more, and then we brought it the whole way into the airplane and docked it.
After another successful mission, they are on their way back to their secret desert base. Their next flight will be their best yet.
You're watching the Discovery Channel.
Coming up next, whatever happened to the killer bees? And later, go inside Marine Corps Survival School.
What do you call someone who pays double for internet access? An AOL user. NetZero gives you the entire internet for only $9.95 a month. Get it at netzero.com.
Monster Garage, Monday at 8 Eastern and Pacific, only on the Discovery Channel.
I gasped the first time I saw it and fought back tears.
I cried, gave him a big kiss. It's like wearing his heart on my hand.
Keepsake means that it's a treasure.
It reminds me of our love for each other. Wow, it's breathtaking. I wouldn't trade this ring for anything because he chose it from his heart for my heart. The quality of a keepsake diamond at a Walmart price. I'm excited about that. Keepsake and Walmart, that would be the perfect marriage.
Would just be made in heaven.
Leave me! Go on! I am not leaving you behind, man!
You guys don't quit it, I'm gonna miss my massage. Come on, guys.
Somewhere between the glacier hiking, the dog sledding, the train tours, and the rock wall, it hits you. This is way more than a cruise. See for yourself at RoyalCaribbean.com and get out there.
You're watching the Discovery Channel.
Tune in this Sunday night to travel back to a time when dinosaurs roamed America.
Zone in on your trouble spots, the places that show age the most, with the most concentrated pro-retinol available over the counter. Intense pro-retinol skincare. Olay Intensive Restoration Treatment.
I'll get you, Spider-Man, at Walmart.
Go, Webb. I'm Spider-Man.
The Green Goblin, ugly dude.
Hello, my dear.
Spider-Man, come out and play. Swing into Walmart and get the new movie.
On DVD and video.
As soon as you push play, you're gonna feel like you're Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, now available at Walmart.
Bam! The movie's gonna hit you hard.
Mary Jane!
It's low prices every day. What's up?
Forget the Alamo. That little shootout in Texas didn't happen the way they say. How do we know? Every week, forensic science is putting history to the test on Unsolved History. Wednesday at 9 on the Discovery Channel, of course.
On a gray day in March 2002, Commando Solo is in the air again, but it is not headed for Afghanistan this time. The men and the planes are going home after 307 consecutive missions.
I've been over and back twice. Some people have been over and back 3 and 4 times. So that's routine, but today's special because we're bringing home our airplanes.
The big plane is on its way to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, USA.
You know that plane will bring you back. I mean, it's proven its record from Vietnam to now. It's a great plane.
For the 193rd and for the Psy Warriors at Fort Bragg, the first stage of the information campaign is over. The effects of the Psy War are hard to assess.
We're trying to play catch-up, basically. We're trying to have sort of a heart-to-heart overnight. And the Afghan people aren't quite sure what to make of it because they've never really dealt with America before.
There's absolutely no evidence that Psy War operations, which are very popular in the military, have really paid off at all. None whatsoever.
At least, not yet.
It's not like when you see a bomb drop and you see camera footage of whether or not you destroyed your target. It takes longer for us to get feedback on how effective our mission is.
At mission's end, Afghanistan seems on its way to recovery, but America's archenemy, bin Laden, is still around somewhere, and there are no available figures on defectors from his camp. Even anecdotal evidence is scant.
Occasionally we get feedback from our counterparts in the Army. I personally don't know how they get the information, but we have heard from our commanders that the job we're doing is effective.
There are many true believers, and Psy warriors claim the Gulf War as proof positive of their effectiveness.
Part of our mission was to build credibility. Hey, you're going to get bombs dropped on you tonight. There's one way out. Surrender. And then the folks that stayed behind saw what happened, you know. The B-52s hit them.
Let's go.
We had over 87,000 Iraqi soldiers surrender. Most of those were waving leaflets, and over half of them admitted that they had heard the radio broadcast of Commando Solo and they believed what the messages was telling them, so they surrendered. And that was 87,000 less people that we had to fight.
In the end, our goal, really, we save lives on the battlefield. A surrender leaflet means a guy lives and he goes home and he sees his family.
In Harrisburg, families of the crew of Commando Solo are waiting on the tarmac. Then two of the hulking planes finally appear in the wintry sky. There are a few flags, but no band and no speeches to celebrate the returning crew.
We don't really look for a lot of thank yous or anything like that. If we read that somebody surrendered or somebody, you know, took our side because of something that we did, that's really all the thank you we look for.
As soon as the two planes touch the ground, flags are seen waving above the open hatches.
We had the American flag and the Pennsylvania state flag flying out of the top of the aircraft, and that was sort of our sign of, you know, we're glad to be home, and Pennsylvania is our state, and we're glad to be home and have all of our friends and family there waiting for us.
See it?
Once you get off the airplane,
You guys are early.
there's my wife, there's my kids. It's like, okay, this is all that matters, is being home now.
It's an experience that, you know, I guess not many new co-pilots will get, and it's been great. So, fantastic. Now it's time to start a family, maybe.
Feels great having you home. It's wonderful.
How you doing?
These citizen soldiers can go home to their families and ordinary lives, knowing that even if their mission is hard to assess, the goals make it all worthwhile.
It's our job not to drop bombs. It's our job to be the diplomatic arm of the military when it comes to giving the enemy a chance to come forward and be at peace with us. Isn't that the final objective? I mean, isn't that what we really want?
(1957), the year when an experiment in Brazil went horribly wrong and killer bees began their invasion on the United States. Where are they now? Find out next on Killer Bees Taming the Swarm. And for the latest science news online, log on to discovery.com.